Like I won't be able to record on Facebook, guys. I'm trying. Let me see what's going on. But we are gonna get started in just a couple of minutes. We're gonna give enough time for everybody to sign on, and then we're gonna jump into this whole Aptos ecosystem thing. All right, cool. Get my screen share prepared. Let's try this one more time. Try to get this in the Facebook group. Right? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Just trying to stream to Facebook too, but Facebook doesn't want me to. Trying to screen share Chrome tab. You're experiencing an issue in a single share. Try sharing the entire screen. Okay, we'll try that.
What's going on, Dennis?
What's going on, my brethren?
All right. I'm glad I can finally make a class. I've been able to tune in live in a while.
I'm glad to have you here. Cool. Let's try that entire screen. Screen one. It's still not letting me share. So yeah, Facebook is doing what it does best. And I don't want to hold that up from the class.
While you speaking of things, that's why I kept kind of nagging you a few weeks ago about, like, are you getting messages about, just Facebook issues? Like, I got a message that all my lives will be deleted, I think by like June or something like that. And I got to message Facebook and find out what's the deal and why so. So that's
That's
why I was asking
crazy.
about that. It's Facebook is something changing for sure with them.
Yeah. Facebook sharing window. Yeah, sharing it. But whenever I come over here to actually go live, it will not allow me to click live. So I can't record live to y'all on Facebook, but don't worry, we are live on YouTube and I'll post this recording inside the chat. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'll worry about the Facebook recording another day. Welcome, 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 everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing, looking at a weekly outlook. Judging by the mastermind report, what can be expected. Now, we understand that, the market's been doing its own kind of thing lately. That doesn't, for me, you know what, you only got to see me, you just need to hear me. For me, it hasn't distracted me from my goals, right? And I have a similar goal, every year. Now, Coach actually touched on this on Monday, and he said that sometimes you got to retire the old ways. You know what I mean? If you see things have changed, you need to adjust. You need to make the changes and, so that you can hit the market the right way. And I did hear him. I listened and I focused on what he said. Don't get me wrong, but it is hard, like he said during that time, to break those habits that led you to so much success before. And what has led me to success time and time over again, almost every year, I can do the same trick, and I'm gonna do it again this year. At least I'm gonna attempt to. I buy in the spring and in fall. It never changes. 2 months on, 2 months. I mean, not 2 months, but 2 seasons on, 2 seasons off. It happens all the time. I witness it all the time. I'm able to use it to my benefit. So toward the end of winter, which we're dealing with going into spring, I like to buy heavily. Because in the springtime, and we can look at the charts in just a second, you'll notice that the market normally has a nice run up before we go into the summertime where we get kind of consolidation and we drop right before we hit the fall. So the spring is a good time to get into the market. The next best time to get in the market is the fall, right? We had a hard drop. I know y'all all heard of wreck timber. People kind of scared. The market is usually at its lows on the ninth month of the year, right? And then it kind of trickles back up after that. So those are two times that I pay heavy attention to buying the market. And right now I'm buying with a hard head. Everybody around me and people that I love and respect is telling me, Dennis, chill out, watch the charts, look again, listen to what the charts are showing you. And I'm going to tell y'all both perspectives on this call. I'm going to let y'all know what the charts say. I'm going to let y'all know what I think. I'm going to give you my bias. And then we're going to, hey, y'all use that information how you will, right? So let's start with what the mastermind report say. Before we even get into me, the mastermind report actually suggests us to be bullish from the 9th to the 13th. So going into this week, those are days that I'm not the 9th to the 13th, I'm sorry, 17th to 19th. So going into this week, those are days I'm thinking that, you know what, I need to get into the market if I'm not already in it, which I am. But I'm gonna hold on to my positions. You know, I might even add a little bit more to my positions, but I'll be bullish for these next few days. Even when we come down here to these days as we looking, we see it was a dip buy today, a red dip buy on this Sunday, which we're seeing is happening. The market is red, but I believe we are bottoming out, buying opportunities. I know for one, I'm gonna show y'all Aptos in a second, and Aptos is in my buy range, so I plan to continue to buy that. Right. Then we got tomorrow as another dip buy. So we can see some more lows and not like we're all the way bullish. I think we're gonna see a pop-up tonight, but we can see another drop tomorrow morning. We can get down a little low, right? And then going into Tuesday and Wednesday, we can see the market into that green, what we're looking for from the 17th to 19th. We're looking for that green. And the mastermind report suggests that we look to take profit by Thursday or Friday, right? So what we're buying for me, I'm buying at the beginning of the week, and I'll be looking to take profit toward the end of the week. I'll even be taking profit of some of those assets I've been holding on to that I haven't been closing off yet. Because I'm looking for us to at least have this pop up. I didn't expect the downside to be so strong, which it has been, but I'm still looking for an uptick this week at least. I'm taking this week by week. You know, following that week, we're looking at some bearish opportunities. What the market is suggesting here with the master report. I'm gonna make sure I watch the market and see what's happening at that time. Because, like I say, based off of seasonality, I'm used to being able to purchase assets for the spring, and those assets appreciate all spring long. And then going into the summertime, they kind of consolidate with a downtrend. And then, right before the fall, we can kind of bottom out. We ride the market back up in the fall, going into the winter, and then the winter do what it just did. What we're, at the tail end of, I'm hoping, is that drop that we just witnessed. So if, the market continues to do what the market has always done, then now is around that time we're looking for it to bottom out, right? So let's go to the chart, shall we? Now, y'all know where I'm at with Aptos. I'm going to show y'all why I'm so heavy on Aptos on this call today. But we're not going to start off with Aptos. Instead, I want to start off with Bitcoin and Ethereum. You know what I mean? Let's go through the majors. We also want to zoom on out. When in doubt, zoom out. Don't let everybody tell you something that ain't true. So we're going to zoom all the way out to the weekly for Bitcoin. This is my first spring, so I'm a sponge. Oh, this is your first spring in crypto? Great, great, great. Soak it all up. And watch, you finna see it. See why everybody want to, well, I ain't going to say everyone, but why a lot of people right now are bearish on crypto as a whole. Where's Bitcoin? Is it really bearish? Do you regret buying Bitcoin if you bought it back in the fall when I was suggesting back here in Rectember? Is that bad Bitcoin purchases back there, right? Like we still bullish. It's still running up since we bought it then. This was just the winter correction. And when I'm looking for a nice little bottom out. Now, if I'm wrong, we're going to lose the bottom. Y'all even heard it in other DCG classes, under 76. It's wintertime all over again as far as crypto go. But Coach said earlier this week, Bitcoin above 80K is a buy. Bitcoin under 80K, let's get out. And what have we seen Bitcoin do this week? Hold above 80K pretty strongly. And now the week is closed above 80K. Great, Bitcoin. We are out of the woods yet. We need Bitcoin to actually break above that 88. I know y'all like those nice spiritual numbers, so 88,444. We can write that down. But we need Bitcoin to break that area right there so that we can finally say, good graces, we are bullish again. Springtime is here. Let's all make sure we run up a bag, right? But we got to break that 88. Until then, we have this as resistance. Again, I'm still bullish. Let's zoom in. Zooming in on a daily, though. This is why I'm being called crazy and everything. Like, Dennis, how can you still be bullish? The market is obviously bearish. It's obvious, and they are not lying. I would be telling you wrong if I was to say against that. It is everything as far as reading the chart is pointing to more bearish activity. We have a dark red cloud on the daily. We are under the gator, and every time we retest the gator, we find resistance. And what do we have here? Bitcoin at 85.8 is another resistance level. So if we can't break that resistance level, then I mean, I can't tell everybody they wrong, right? Even I gotta be wrong sometimes. So we can't get above this level here, and this is actually resistance. Then what should we expect? More downside from Bitcoin. It is possible. It is very possible. Now, after I gave y'all the real and the understanding of why we are and should think to be bearish, you know what? Let me zoom in one more time before we get all the way into this, even on the 4 hour. We had us a nice little pop-up. It's all cool and dandy to be bullish over the weekend since Friday, to buy a couple of assets. But hey, what happened here? We found resistance right here at this 84.4 area, and we're dropping. We need to break that resistance level before we can think that, hey, I need a swing trade on Bitcoin. If you're trying to swing trade Bitcoin right now, you're trying to do what we say, buy at a falling knife. There's nothing indicating that we're bullish just yet. A slight indication. Here's a slight indication. What's that slight indication, Dennis? Let me show you real quick. Slight indication. We have a nice little uptrend that's currently happening. And if this uptrend can hold, that'd be great. We can break resistance and start creating higher highs. Because what is this? A low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. What do we want to see here? A higher high. And what would that do? Break resistance. Give us the thought process that we could be bullish. But again, we need to break this resistance here until that is broken. When price comes up here to 83, around 83.5 zone, that is still resistance, y'all. You know what I mean? We're going to see, we might see that tonight. And when we get there, you got to really think to yourself, are we bullish or are we still bearish? Because that is a nice pivot area. That's why you see that dotted yellow line right there that say pivot. Because we don't know what's going to happen from this area. It's a 50-50 coin toss. They could find resistance and keep dropping, break this little trend, and create a new low, right? Or it can break the resistance of H3 short, run up here to breakout, break that resistance, and now we're actually in a nice uptrend with Bitcoin because we have 4 touches. This is 3. 1, 2, 3, right? We want a nice good old 4 touches to give us that hey, we in nice trend. We running. So we still kind of being patient, but I would love to see Bitcoin create a higher high on a 4 hour. And that give me more confidence that we could be bullish. Until then, we are bearish, right? Now that y'all understand the proper way to watch these charts, let's get into magical land of astrology, shall we? So what's different this time in our astral world is our full moon here, which we would normally be bullish on. Our full moon is actually happening during a retrograde. I'm gonna have to give y'all some past tense on this. Maybe I need to even go back a couple of years so you can just see something I've been successfully calling for the last couple of years is the drop in April, right? Because that drop in April normally has a retrograde in April. We've been having it for the last couple of years. I think last year was March. The year before that was April, right? But we have a retrograde around the same time, and normally that retrograde happens on a new moon. And following that new moon, we see a downside, right? Retrograde, new moon, downside. Let's go back to the year before. I definitely remember this one. It was when I hosted the class at the 420 event, and we told everybody to take profit before the event even started. And I mean, I promise y'all, I got to the event on the 19th, and it was already down here. Right, but we're letting everybody know prior to class, hey, y'all, we're going into class during retrograde. There's going to be a new moon. Normally, this leads to bearish activity. So new moon, retrograde, and we drop. All right. But what's different about this one is it's similar to our, I hope this one have enough. No, this is bluffing. It's not going to have enough history. Let me, give me 1 second, guys. Find us a chart that'll have enough history. Let's go back to 18 to 2020. It was a time where our full moon was on retrograde. And this is the one that actually kind of got me set and started to look into astrology like that, with just how hard the market moved. Yeah, this is it. No, it wasn't 19 because this was the new moon drop, right? As we had the bad news, the COVID announcement, all that. So this was the new moon. We had a nice little drop. It was the year after that. So what was this? 2020? Give me 2021. My bad, guys. Should have been better prepared. Here we go. This is it. This is the one. So we had our full moon on our actual retrograde. It was like the first retrograde of the year. It was in January. It was pretty cool, right? And it was on a full moon. And following that, we seen a nice little uptick in the market going in the spring. Like I said, I like to buy, in the springtime and then take profit for summer and, before the fall, buy back again in the fall. With some of it consolidates. I like to buy in the fall, run up, it sells off in the winter. It's just a similar pattern that I like to trade, right? It sells off in the winter, and then we buy it back going into the spring. You run up, and then we sell off going into the summer where we consolidate. Price drops again for the fall. We buy it in the fall. Wait, this is July. Buy in the fall, but y'all get the pattern. What I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is different this year that hasn't happened in the last 4 years is that we actually have our retrograde not on a new moon. Every retrograde I've been calling out for the last few years, we've always been on a new moon where retrograde goes down. This particular one, we just had the retrograde on the 14th, and this time is following a full moon. So that gives me expectations of bullish activity. Since we've received our full moon, it normally starts 3 days before, 3 days after, right? Let's zoom in. We started on the 14th right here. Like I say, the bullish activity will start 3 days prior, might even happen 3 days after. So you count 1, 2, 3. Wow. Surprise? I'm not. Maybe y'all are. I'm trying to put y'all on game here so y'all can start looking for what I be looking for. I was noticed this full moon. I noticed we got retrograde. So even though the whole world is against me and everybody is bearish, I don't know. The stars say otherwise. And while I have a temporary uptrend, I'm going to trade my bias. I lose that though. I'm not delusional. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna believe everybody else is telling me Dennis, we bearish. This is different. The world is coming to an end. We're going into a recession, all that kind of stuff. All right, my bad. Let me get out of my position. But I love the volume that I'm seeing for this full moon, and I'm looking for it. Last time I was in this situation, I found out a bullish activity. Right. We even had a mastermind report giving us a little bit of support this week, saying that with the next couple of days could be bullish. So I'm curious, right? I'm still just take my notes and watch the market. But at this moment, Bitcoin is one of the assets that I am buying above 80,000. Under 80,000, I'll slow down and wait for it to find support at 72 to 74K. But above 80,000, I'm still going to DCA. One asset I haven't been buying much of, but I told myself with all the fundamental information I've been finding with Ethereum is that Ethereum is going to eventually recover. So there's nothing on this chart that gives me any reason to want to buy ETH. But I am buying for fundamental reasons, right? I believe that in this long term, there's too much riding on ETH to succeed for it to fail. And with that understanding, could we see $5,000 again? If that's possible, then why would I stop buying in the $2,000 range? What I'm going to end with before we move on to going into the actual class today is Aptos. I showed y'all this before on a weekly basis. Let's turn these lights off for just a second. It doesn't look good on the chart. Nothing does. I'm buying because this has been a bottom before. It's a support level. But if I lose this bottom, which is what, $495 range, if I lose that, then I'm done with this trade. I'm only buying this zone. This zone has shown us before that there was a nice supported zone, right? Even when the market came out on Blowfin, it took off from this area, came back, found support, took off. Came back, found support, took off. What are we doing now? Back in this area, found support. I'm looking for it to hold support to take off. I'm taking risk here because I'm wrong. Yes, price could go down here and I need to close my trade. But I want to show you guys what if I'm right. If I'm wrong from where we are right now, and I still buy today, and I'm wrong about Aptos, I can possibly lose 12, maybe even 20%. And we're talking about a spot trade. No leverage, just a spot position. I'm cool with losing that if I'm wrong. We go all the way down to $4. I close my position and everything else I've been dollar cost averaging into while we've been in this zone. But if I'm right, the reward of me being right, I'm risking 20%. But if I'm right and price does come back up here to retest its most recent high, I'm not going to the all-time high, just the most recent high. That's 182%. So are you willing to risk 20% for 180? You ain't got to answer out loud. You can think about it. You know what I mean? Go to sleep on it. Wake up tomorrow. Let me know how you feel. But that's just a risk I'm willing to take. So yes, I am still buying into Aptos. And now I want to show you why. It's more than just what's on the chart. When I say fundamental, I want you guys to start to notice how these things work. And I'm going to give you some comparison into my experience and how others work as well. Let's take a stroll over here in the Aptos ecosystem, shall we? All right. So one thing I said about this ecosystem, or one thing I said about this coin, this network, this project, is that it is a complete project. And what I mean by that is a lot of them are still in infrastructure. They got this to build, they got that to build. You know what I mean? Some of its competitors that it was created after, it is already outdone. I'm not gonna give any names because I don't want to start any beef, but y'all already, I mean, there's just other coins out there. You know what? There ain't no beef, y'all. There ain't no bias. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Things like 88, for example, it's been promising to do a lot for a long time, and it hasn't done it. You know what I mean? I remember the time they came out with their very first NFT exchange, and it was a failed operation because we couldn't even buy an NFT using 88. It was crazy. I don't know if y'all had to deal with it, but a lot of people make investments just based off investments. I'd like to try to use all the assets that I buy so that I can, see if it's worth me continue to buy them. And what I noticed with, let's just say Polygon, we'll start there. You like this better than your Sui? Oh yeah, we're gonna get there in just a second. Because yes, I do. It is actually stronger than Sui as a whole project, but so when we talk about like Polygon, it was a faster Ethereum and cheaper Ethereum, right? So that was cool. Everybody loved the cheap. But then when you deal with the congestion, when you deal with trying to create an NFT and you get a warning every time you create it, when you go to dealing with the self-private banking and you can't even move money around because the market just dropped by 10% in 5 minutes, so it can't handle the congestion, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna upset you. You're gonna think to yourself, I can't deal with this. I actually lost, what was it, around 25 or 15? I can't remember the exact number, but it was a 5-digit number I lost because I couldn't move my money on Polygon. I couldn't pay off my debt. I couldn't swap my collateral. I couldn't do anything. I kept getting this signal and I had to watch my money fail. Even with AVAX, I love AVAX. Y'all know, y'all heard me talk about it a lot. But Avalanche during congestion times, it'll have high fees, or it just won't even allow you to say, hey, this coin you can't move today. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, so I've had these issues, and based off those issues, it makes me understand where I'm at when it comes to these other projects. Of course, we like the Smart Chain Network, but that's another one that had a lot of liquidity issues. There's assets that you want to swap in and out of, they'll just say, oh, you can't, because no one's providing liquidity. No one's farming these assets. So that's another big thing that matters. Is anyone even going to provide liquidity for this network while it's over there? See, yeah, Lamar say Polygon was acting lack and peasant. BCL. Some of these networks and exchanges are failing us. So why do we continue to use them with blind faith? I've been testing out different networks, and I'm bringing to y'all Aptos because out of all the networks I test, it's one that showed me it is a complete project. And I'm gonna explain more about that instead of talking mess about the other ones, right? So when we come over here, what I mean by a complete project. If you look at some of the dApps and even the categories that we have to choose from, you notice that you can do just about anything with Aptos. Let's just start off with like a RPC, remote procedure call. For those of y'all that don't know what a RPC is. So these things really allow you to work remotely and still controls computers from other areas. This even allows you, I know y'all seen it with Google, you can control your computer with your Google Pal or whatever it's called. I forget the name of it, but from your phone, wherever you are, if you need to make a trade and you can only use a laptop to trade on that place, you can still use your phone because you can pair it and operate your laptop from your phone. Well, that's what RPCs are. And they are creating some backed by Aptos on the Aptos blockchain, right? We also have stable coins that you can choose from. These stable coins are ways to earn interest on stable currencies. You don't always have to take risk in the market. And when we have these newer networks that's built, they give higher on stables until they get their money filled up. So that's one thing I like to search for as well. There's newer networks that's looking to, load up on their stable currency. So I'll farm or I'll pair it over there so that I can earn rewards as they stack up. It's just easy rewards. And more explorers than most. Now, one thing that people are using these explorers for now, because we used to just have one main explorer for whatever the network is, right? The ether scan or whatever. But you might ask yourself, Dennis, why does Aptos have so many different scanners? They actually operate in different ways. It's not just for the Aptos network, like the OKX Explorer, for example, goes through multiple blockchains. And people are using these engines with along paired with AI to kind of track wallets, to track activity, to see where a lot of money is moving in one place or the other. So again, all these, I'm just trying to go over a little bit of what these different things do. And I'm gonna show you a couple of them that I'm using myself, but there's a lot of tools to create these ecosystems. I just showed you guys how to bridge. I showed you guys how to do DeFi because that's one area that I'm heavy in. I showed you how to use Aries to stake and provide liquidity. Same thing on Pancake Swap and Miso Finance. I also showed you how to trade derivatives on Merkle trade. And if you've been to Mike class at 10 o'clock for all of mine, he's been going over trading on Merkle as well. So these are some of the dApps that, Amnesty Finance, where we can stake at. These are some of the dApps that we're using on Aptos, right? By using these dApps, it should kind of strengthen your belief in the network itself. And that's why I'm saying I'm so strong on Aptos. These dApps work. There are competitive dApps on other networks that don't work. Somebody just asked a second ago, you feel stronger about Aptos than Sui? In this battle right here in the world of DeFi, Merkle trade works. I'm earning points, I'm earning trades, I've made withdrawals. Pseudo does not work. It's the derivative exchange that they have on Sui. And I had liquidity issues. Sometimes I could take a trade, sometimes I couldn't. You know what I mean? It didn't work correctly. So if I'm comparing the two, based off of my experience and the dApps that I like to use, Aptos is even stronger than Sui, depending on what you're trying to do. Now, if I'm thinking that, hey, I want to farm, Sui hands down is the best network to farm on, right? You get the best interest, you get it's quick, it's easy. Like I said, some of the other problems that I've had with Ethereum based, the layer twos on Ethereum, whether it was AVAX or Polygon or whatever, was the speed. And whether it's Sui or Aptos or Solana, those are three that I'm noticing are keeping up with the speed. They're moving just as fast as I need them to, and I don't have to deal with congestion problems. They don't have to be like, oh, the market is moving fast. I already know if the market moved by 10% in one day, I can't even touch my AVAX Instadap. I don't even try. I'm gonna get arrow on arrow. I'm gonna have to pay high gas fees. But even with the market moving as radical as it is moving the last 3 weeks, I had no problems moving in and out or moving around with Aries and some of these other assets. I'm Amnesty. I can move my money. I haven't had no congestion problems. I haven't been stuck anywhere. So that gives me a strong vibe when it comes to this whole Aptos ecosystem. Not only that.
Sorry, Dennis, real quick. Is Aries and Amnesty another what do you call it? Borrow lending?
Yeah, Aries is another lend and borrow. That was one of the first ones I went to. Amnesty is a staking platform. It's where you can have stake. So you actually can stake on Amnesty and then take that staked Aptos and put it on Aries and borrow against it.
Okay.
So, I went over a couple of steps. You can watch the other videos. I went over steps on how you can intertwine these dApps together, including the Miso Finance and the Apton Labs. And I think the last one was Venus. There was some V word. I can't remember the name of it now. But anywho, yeah, there's just come and check out the dApps, y'all. Now payments is another way so that we can start making payments.
Vibrant.
Excuse me?
It was vibrant.
Vibrant. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Vibrant. We just went over last week. So, anywho, y'all can come and check out some of these dApps, see how the ecosystem works, see how the dApps work themselves. Now, last week, my kids was on spring break, and whether it's spring break or it's summer, I like to host an event for children. I let my kids host it. I kind of teach them so they can teach their friends. And this past weekend, we even went into gaming. Some things about what I was looking at while I was, looking for things to find for them, I like, dang, this is actually pretty cool. I can bring this up even in my adult class. That's what changed my class for today. I plan on talking about Sui today, but I'm gonna say that for next week. I really wanted to wrap up this whole Aptos network and let y'all know why I believe in this coin, because it's more than it just being a coin. This is a whole network, it's a whole project, and all the technology built on it is working and is useful. So when we come over here to the games, I was able to convince the kids to get involved with cryptocurrency and through gaming. But like I said, as I was trying to teach them how to play the games, it caught my attention. And I'm like, man, I think some adults need to see this as well. One of the first games I like playing, King of Destiny. This is like a card game you play on your phone. For those of y'all that play mobile games just to keep yourself busy, all I'm saying is why not play one where you can earn? I don't promote a lot of mobile games because they have a difficulty with paying out. Sometimes it takes too many steps. You got to do all this extra stuff to finally get the payout. And then you find out that because of where you live, you can't even get the payout. This has happened to me multiple times. And that's why I'm bringing these games up to you. Because the ones I found on Aptos, I'm going to share 3 with you. All 3, I've gotten withdrawals with no problem. So pretty cool. Share this with your kids. Share this if you play games. Check out King of Destiny. And if you need any instructions and any help playing the game, holla at me in the chat. I go over some of the steps with you and some of the things that I do to earn money. Another one that's pretty fun is Tally Up. Now, what's cool about Tally Up that I definitely want to bring to people's attention, they changing the game with how they created this DApp here. They had the best of both worlds, both fiat and crypto. Oh yeah, that's Miss LaShonda hopping on. I'm great. She's hopping on because I know she's familiar with some of these games that I'm talking about. But one thing about Tally Up is you earning they're giving you like the dollar value, 15 cents here, 20 cents here. Sometimes it might just be 5 cents to play and win games. And you'll be able to withdraw once you're at $10. When I say they give you the best of both worlds, you can withdraw this to your PayPal account or you can withdraw it with crypto. So you know me, I'm always using the crypto side of things, but you can also earn NFTs and more by playing this game. And NFTs you can sell. Sometimes some of the NFTs have utility to where it can help you get bonuses on what you're earning and things of that nature. So others will buy those NFTs from you. It's free to play and it's play to earn. So Miss Edwards, I noticed you just logged on. Do you have are you familiar with Tally Up?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I put you on game? Good. Because you always give
just
me such
did.
big games to look at. So I'm happy to share one with you.
Yep, you just did. I just took a screenshot as you said it.
All right, cool. Well, I know you are familiar with Aragon. Have you been playing Aragon?
Yes, I am.
Now, did y'all participate in the reward? They just had this past weekend where you can withdraw.
No, I didn't. The early reward.
Oh, okay, great. You might want to check that out. So I'm gonna go over that right now, y'all. They have it to like this withdrawal wasn't happening for a while. We had to earn and we were just playing these games, but now they do have it to where we connect and we can draw, and there's a whole error pay that's going on. They even have which one was it? Yeah, this is it. Well, this is part of it. What I want to explain. Loyalty quest. So by participating in some of these games for the week or the month, you earn points. You earn Pgon, you earn Egon, and all this is interchangeable with Aptos, right? And these are also coins. So what I'm mainly showing you guys by introducing you to the Aptos ecosystem, every DApp I'll share with you, they are coinless DApps. I'm gonna say that again because that's important. Every DApp I'll share with you are coinless. They do not have a coin that is out that you can buy at a marketplace yet. What's so great about that is when we're dealing with these coinless dApps, a lot of times when the coin does finally come through, we get an airdrop. So if you're using almost anything that I'll share with you so far, there's a possibility you put yourself in a pot for a possible airdrop, like the Amnest, every dApp that I've shared so far, including Merkle. Now, Merkle probably won't do an airdrop, but we're earning daily, weekly from what we're already doing. When it's dApps like that, they don't always do airdrops, but these other ones that we're using, even the games that we're playing, once the coin comes out that represents Aragon, the Pgon coin becomes real, there'll be an airdrop for its early users. Not Talia, but King of Destiny. They have a God token. And it's the same thing. They token came out live, and those that are part of the whole network, Infinity Gods, they also received the airdrop. So we're a little late to the party. It's still good to play it, but we did miss the airdrop here. However, I think I did just miss the one on Aragon too, but it's still coming. There's another airdrop to come, but there's more games that we're going to be able to play on the Aptos network. That's why when you go over here to the Aptos ecosystem, feel free to click right here on gaming, and they try to stay up to date. Now, what I'm going to share with you in a second is they haven't always been. I found games that haven't made this web page. And I'm glad I went looking because my son, he went through all these. Some of them we're not even allowed to play. Some of them just wasn't fun. Others like this one, which was pretty fun, it's just everybody vacated the game. No one is playing anymore. So, we're trying to find out where's the live games, where's what's fun and what's interesting. You actually know to play to earn. And here's what I had to do to find all the games that's on the Aptos network, because Play to Earn is going to know about everything, right? I found games here that I can't find on the ecosystem. And I'm noticing the ecosystem hasn't been updated in a while. But if you come over here and you change the blockchains, apologies for my slow PC. Guess I should have already had this pulled up. When you come over here, it wasn't supposed to go to blockchains. My bad, guys. Hold on. Genre, blockchains. Here we go. Let me change it right here. We're gonna look for the Aptos network. And there we go. So they only have 50 games on the ecosystem page, but here are the top 50 Aptos games. A lot of things that are happening on Aptos right now is happening in Telegram. Here's another game that my son was playing. It's a Telegram game. They didn't create it. They opened it up. So it's bigger than just that. You see it has a social score that's higher than the rest. So this game is actually receiving some volatility. People are playing it, and the rewards are coming out. You also notice, the game is live. It does take an NFT to play. It is free to play, and you can earn crypto and NFTs while playing it. And you can kind of go through here and see other games on the Aptos network. I'm bringing all this up because, like I say, one thing I noticed on some of the other networks like Solana, I couldn't find a game on Solana at all. None of the games I played on Sol actually worked. It was crazy, but none of them worked. I might check this one out tomorrow because if it's backed by Aptos, I haven't found a game on Aptos yet that hasn't worked. Maybe people are done playing it like the one I just shared a second ago, but every game built over here works. All the dApps that I use work. I'm saying all this to keep saying and bring it back to your mind. That is why I'm heavy on Aptos. So when we come over here and we look at this thing on not just a weekly, even zoom all the way out to a monthly basis, we are at all-time lows, right? So yes, I am buying it. It's still been holding. It's still been holding. We're looking for this week to continue to hold that support. And if we hold this trend that we created since full moon, right? We creating higher lows ever since full moon. If we continue to create those higher lows, I'll be looking for more upside with Aptos. If we drop even lower than $5, like I said before, all the dollar cost averaging I've been doing over the last 3 weeks, I'm willing to cut my loss. If price goes under 485. It's time to go ahead and take a loss. But if we continue to hold the support now, I'm going to continue to buy going into this week. We stay above 490, above $5. I'm still rocking with Aptos. And I just showed you guys fundamentally why. Then I showed y'all earlier astrology reasons why I believe that the spring is going to be a good time to buy. And I'm not saying I'm buying and holding every asset out there, but Aptos is a good one. Now, what I'm going to go over next week is going to be SUI. They're looking very similar, right? Just as bullish as I am on Aptos, I am equally as bullish on a $2 SUI. And next week, I'm going to show you guys how I've been farming and why the farms make sense in the spring, right? We've been trying to farm SUI since the winter when we said to get out of the farms back in fall, right? I remember I told y'all in the fall, hey, y'all, it was November or something. Let me zoom out. We might want to start chilling on SUI. Right? So way back here, we can go back to the 4-hour. My apologies. I like it on the 4-hour, but it was right toward the end of the year when we were peaking on SUI. And we was, having a hard time breaking the $5, $6 range. And we also noticed that Bitcoin was about 110 and it found resistance. And we understand that the coins normally follow Bitcoin. Once SUI lost that support right there and had that token unlocked, we should have, you shouldn't have been farming anymore. Let that thing ride. Let the winter do what the winter do. But we're going in the springtime, guys. And once we break back above this gator on a 4-hour, I'm going to be farming like crazy. So this is why I said I'm gonna save it for the next class. I planned on teaching the farming class this week, but we are still bearish. And until we break certain resisting areas, I'm not going to encourage anyone to hold a farm at this moment. But if come next week on SUI, we notice that we come back and we're above the price of $2.40, I will be showing you just how I plan to hold on to my SUI and what I expect to do with it, going into the summer, right? These positions I'm taking now, I plan to hold all spring long. What I'm taking with Aptos, I expect to see more than the $5 Aptos. I expect to see more than $2 SUI. I expect to see better than the $1,800 ETH. But at this moment, I'm not going to coach y'all into a day trade right now, right? We need to break resistant areas, So any questions, comments, or concerns about the Aptos ecosystem? None at all? Any questions about it?
Hey, Dennis, I got a quick question. And I hope it ain't off subject, but I was hoping you can send me a referral from the Merkle, because like I have an Arbitron Merkle account, but I'm trying to use different blockchains to trade on, which you do too, right?
Right, but my Merkle account is attached to all the different ones. I only got one Merkle account.
Okay. So I could if I want to because I got one for ARB, if I want to make one for like OP, I could just use that
It's the
same
same
referral
one.
link. Oh, okay.
And so that account, your Merkle account isn't on any of those EVM wallets. It just allows you to use EVM wallets to load it, but it is built on Aptos.
Wait, what's the EVM again? I forget.
EVM is your MetaMask wallet.
Okay.
EVM wallet. So it allows you to use all those MetaMask assets, OP, any of those Ethereum layer twos. But the blockchain that Merkle is built on is Aptos.
Okay. Now, do I just switch to the network and then like enable? It asks like enable account or something like that. I forget.
It just allows you to load from any account. So
Got it.
that's the big difference. So no matter where you're trying to load from, you'll be able to, if you got it from OP, if you got it from Avalanche, it don't matter where you're trying to load from, you'll be able to
Just go right
load
to the
your account up,
blockchain.
deposit your money.
Go right to the blockchain and just deposit the money.
Yeah, it accepts all networks.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good to know.
All
All right. Thanks.
No problem. So yeah, you wrapping it up, y'all. Oh, I did want to come over. Oh, go ahead.
I remember you saying that in the springtime that there would be a drop. Is that what we're experiencing now, or is that coming later?
I think it's what just happened. No, I'm going bullish for the spring.
Okay.
Yeah, so normally I expected for retrograde, and that's why I talked about earlier in the class. Retrograde in the past have happened with a new moon. This retrograde is the first one in the last 4 years that happened following the full moon. The one that happened prior was the one in 2020, and it was bullish. So I think that when the retrograde, and I'm not absolutely for certain about this. This is the second time I've witnessed a retrograde on a full moon. But the first one I witnessed is the one that actually grabs my attention into looking into astrology, because the market moved up in such a way. I like, dang, I wish I'd have known that. And then after that, I kind of got wrecked because it was bearish almost every retrograde after that. And I started realizing, oh, retrogrades are actually bearish, but that one wasn't. And I just did my research this past week, and they say it was a phenomenal event that only happens once every 4 years, and even be followed by the eclipse. That all that same sequence happened to me 4 years ago. So following that, then was bullish, and I'm hoping and expecting bullish activity now. But also what I said in the beginning of the class was I'm not going to tell y'all to go against what is obvious, right? Until we break resistance levels, we are still bearish at this time. With Aptos, I'm just looking for us to actually break. We've been consolidating and breaking through the resistance pretty easily. When you zoom out, what was on? I'm looking for Aptos to finally find a floor and push up. Right, but that's what I'm not buying a lot. Aptos and Bitcoin are about the only two assets that I've been DCAing that's showing me to kind of keep on going. But the other assets I haven't been buying too much of. SUI is one that I do plan to buy this week though. Ethereum, once it breaks above 2,000, I start buying that again. But Sui, Aptos, and Bitcoin is the three that I'm going to focus on this week. All right. All right, cool. Well, hey, I know y'all got a whole nother class coming up in another 15 minutes. So I'm gonna give y'all time to get prepared for that. Any last minute questions, comments, or concerns before we part ways? Oh, how about Ton? CEO is free. Thanks, coach. I ain't even check about Ton. And see, bringing up Ton, that also goes along with us trading with the Telegram. A lot of games, a lot of being created on Ton and not on that whole blockchain that I haven't been paying attention to. And yeah, coach, you just put me on game. God, dog, why was I sleeping on Ton? Man, I should have been on this way back here on the 15th. Appreciate you. It got my attention. So Ton, out of all assets, a lot of them we're still under the gate on the 4-hour, but we are above the gator. Like you said, the CEO is out, and they kept creating the infrastructure even while he was gone. Somebody say something?
Sorry, that was me. I'm going back on mute.
Oh, no, you good. So, no, I'm glad you brought this up to my attention, coach. I just wish I'd have known about it a little bit earlier, but I'm looking pretty bullish on Ton. Let me zoom out and we come back in real quick. So, of course, on the weekly, everything is pretty ugly right now, but we don't have enough information on Ton just yet on the weekly. Will you have a few minutes? Yeah, definitely for you. All right, so let's zoom in on the daily. We noticed that our 20-day is aiming upward. So let's see if that support holds. Our daily, we're still bearish while we're under the gator, red cloud and everything, but holding the support of our 20-day. Let's look and see if that 319, 320 holds that support, and we need to break the resistance of that 370. Zooming into my 4-hour, which we are already gator out of water. And like I said, I use my 4-hour for my swing trade. So I would love to catch an entry if price in the 20-day communicates again. I'm not going to just jump in right now, but I'll be patient and I'll keep my eyes on Ton to look for entry, but it is looking bullish. Green cloud aiming upward, support of our gator. We've been looking good ever since our full moon. If you want to add the astrology aspect into it. So yeah, I like the way Ton is looking. And I definitely put this on my watch list this week so I can find me an entry. Appreciate you again, coach. All right. So with that being answered, if there's no other questions, and if y'all do have any other ones, just come and holler at me in the chat tomorrow. My kids is off of spring break, so I'm back live. This week was a spring break week, so it was kind of crazy, but now I'm back, y'all. So if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to jump in and trade together, meet me in a trade room this week. Normally it's during the hours of my kids being at school. So, 8 o'clock in the morning to about 2, 3 evening, y'all come holler at me. With that being said, peace, love, and abundance.